We are going to get started here in just a minute. Do ask that if you are planning to speak today during the meeting, please make sure that you come up to the podium. Do not speak from the seating. Come up to the podium, sign in if you haven't done so already, and just speak clearly into the microphone so that the recording catches what you say. We use this to make the minutes, and it is public record. So we just ask you to do that as we go forward. Once the bell rings and we hit 5 o'clock, the chairman will take that forward, and we should be ready to go in just a moment.
Excuse me, I didn't have a speaker on. Approval of the minutes from the November 14th minutes meeting. Do I have a motion to approve them? Motion to approve. Is there a second? I'll second. All in favor? All opposed? Passed. Old business. There's no old business to deal with tonight. New business.
The first item under new business is TMS number 146-1102-008, 100 Candover Court, zoned PUD, planned unit development owned by Sean and Ashley Larson. Variance request to reduce the required side and rear setback for an accessory structure from 5 feet to 2 feet 4 inches from the side and rear property lines, ordinance section 2.10. This is in Council District 3. I'm gonna get there. So this is the originally submitted request. Between the creation of the packet and today, we did receive an alternative location because there is an existing easement on the left side of the site that the homeowner had reached out to the easement holder to potentially get permission to construct the shed in the easement, which is typically not permitted. That did not, as far as I'm aware, go forward, and we did receive a revised site plan, which is in front of you on the table. Now, the request for this variance is slightly different than what was requested, but it's not less. So it's not a bigger variance than what was requested. So we could, and we will, or my intent is to allow this to move forward because we're not doing a reduced setback on the side, but it will be from the rear. So we would still be reducing it from 5 feet to 3 feet. We could even go down to the originally requested 2.33 feet if we so chose. But I will move forward from there to my staff report. So based on that background, the need for a setback variance was determined upon application for a zoning development permit only after starting construction. The applicants were rebuilding a shed in the location of a prior shed that was constructed before the zoning development permits were implemented in 2019. Staff has determined that the shed is located within an existing easement, and the applicant has reached out to Dominion seeking permission to leave the structure in the easement. Even if the town grants the variance, if Dominion denies the request, the structure will need to be moved. Staff feels the applicant does meet all 4 criteria and that a hardship is present. Extraordinary conditions do exist on the property. Due to the unique shape of the lot and the number of trees on the lot, the possible locations for the shed are greatly reduced or eliminated. B, other property in the area do not have similar lot shapes and size. The orientation of the house on the lot minimizes the rear yard and again reduces or eliminates possible locations for the shed. C, utilization of the property is not eliminated due to the setbacks, but it is reduced based on the unique conditions and layout. And D, detriment will not be caused to other properties by the issuance of this variance on this property. The shed had previously been located at the same location and had no apparent negative impacts on the adjacent properties. So, we can see from the applicant, this was the originally intended location. The new location is here. Based on that site plan, and we can see from the pictures moving from here to over here. And this should not be problematic and can be approved by the BZA tonight. So I can turn it over to the property owner if they would like to present any additional information or if the board has questions.
Just to comment on the electric company. Yeah, we never did get in contact with anybody that could help us with anything. They ended up putting us through to a technician who basically just said, hey, as soon as we do that property, we're not gonna be going back. So short of us getting something signed, you're probably fine. But they also said they're never gonna sign it. Whatever that's worth.
Question, with the new location of the shed, are you having to remove any trees or do anything like that on the property?
No, where you shouldn't have to remove any trees. The biggest issue would just be deadfall from the tree, harming the shed. But within that 3 feet, I think that gives us just enough room to be able to have the door far enough away where I can actually get lumber and everything inside the shed. Any further out, we're gonna be getting into the roots again, like we were gonna have the issue when the other location trying to move it forward. But no, we shouldn't have to remove trees.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion for that. That it's extraordinary conditions, then I think we should approve it.
All right, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second based on the all 4 conditions. I feel like it does fall within those parameters.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Is all in favor? Raise your hand. That passes. Thank you. All right, next one.
All right. The second item under new business is TMS number 137-1409042, 105 Graham Lane, Zone GR5 General Residential, owned by Ronald and Shauna Bowler. Variance request to reduce the required side setback for a detached garage from 10 feet to 3 feet, ordinance section 2.7.4B. This is in Council District 3. So the need for a setback variance was determined before application for a zoning development permit. Staff feels that the applicant does not meet all 4 criteria and that a hardship is not present. A, extraordinary conditions do not exist on the property. The property is an extremely long rectangle, though the property is narrow and it is possible to meet the 10-foot setback and still have an adequate depth driveway to park a vehicle on the drive outside the garage. B, other property in the area do have similar lot shapes and size. Properties directly adjacent have similar shape and sizes, but it is unique that the property is a corner lot and has side access. C, utilization of the property is not eliminated due to the setbacks, but it is reduced based on the unique conditions and layout. And D, detriment will not be caused to other properties by the issuance of this variance on the property. A garage at this location should not have a negative impact on the adjacent property. The primary structure on the property is already closer to the property line than this proposed garage. So as we can see, this was the original lot. Phelan Lane, I believe is how it was at one point quitclaimed to the property, connecting the two. So this former right-of-way here was vacated and dedicated to the property owners, making for this much larger lot. As we can see, it's very long and narrow, and from this site plan, the intent is to build the garage here, 3 feet off the property line, with the driveway going to Felix. As I said previously, the house is already at 1.7 feet from the property line. There is the possibility that this garage could potentially move forward. You would still have 19 to 20 feet here between the property line and the front of the garage, and you could potentially meet the 10-foot required setback. I know that the applicant is present, and if you have questions for them, I would turn it over to them for discussion.
I guess before I start, you guys have any questions for me before I begin? Going through the four state mandated criteria, I believe what I would like to do if I can, I would like to kind of see where I agree with the town's opinion and where I disagree with the town's opinion. Ultimately, I do think we meet the 4 conditions and we got a hardship. And I kind of want to start with the part of detriment. I agree with the town that there's no detriment to our neighbors by a large cell tower that we didn't really want. By a water tower, my neighbor has a similar detached garage on her property. So I think that our structure is a similar taste to what is being built in this area. There are a lot of detached garages in the area, and homes are not, it's an older neighborhood. When I say older, I think it goes back to 1800. So homes did not have a similar, or the present day setback that currently exists today. And the utilization of the property, I'm not entirely sure what it meant by it's not eliminated due to setback, but reduced. I don't know if the intent is to say the utilization has to be 100% reduced or just reduced significantly. But the town did say it is reduced, and we do have unique conditions and layout. If you look in the packet, I can show you that regarding the utilization, if we're looking at our back door, our back window of the property, you can see where, yeah, right there. You can see where I kind of gave a vantage point or view of what it looked like with the variance and without the variance. And we would like to enjoy the view of our property. We want to watch our kids play. We want to look at our trees. We want to be able, I want to be able to look around my garage and make sure no one's messing with my shed. You know, we did have a goat pen there. We got rid of our goats here recently, but I would like to keep the best view of our animals. If we ever get some more goats or other animals. So safety and security is important to us, and I think that if we have this garage kind of in the middle of our yard, it's going to block our view, and it could be a security issue for us. Other property in the area that you have similar shapes and sizes, I disagree with that. Our lot is long and narrow. There are long and narrow lots in the area, but our lot is the only one, in my opinion, or from what I can find, that has a structure that's pushed very close to the property line And one corner of it is 1.4 feet, the other corner is 2.4 feet from the property line. And we also have this unique building space between our home and some mature trees in the rear that's applicable for building a reasonable size garage. And of course, we're bordered by a side street, Felix Street, not gonna go into details more about Felix Street, next. I guess to start off with, for the extraordinary conditions, I do think we do have extraordinary conditions on this property. Again, as the town agrees, it's a unique lot. It's long and narrow, and we really have a targeted building space for our garage. And the plan is to exit our back door and be able to walk straight into our garage with some type of, I call it breezeway or entry cover. And, if the garage is pushed toward the interior of the property, we will not be able to provide that protection when we enter and exit our home and garage, get back and forth, because in order to build a structure like that, you will be within the 10 foot, and we don't, and we have that variance to construct that. So we're missing out on that. And that's part of our design, what we want. I firmly believe that we need to have the maximum space in Felix Street as possible, siding. And, Tim, would you mind going to the aerial site plan? I think that the concrete driveway, that 31.5 by 24, that needs to be maintained, and we need to have that maximum space. Over the course of the years, we have seen people run into our yards. We had some, back in 2014, we had someone enter our yard, run through our fence, tried to get away. The police got them. I think they were arrested for being drunk. We had people damage our fence when they were working on that cell phone tower. Nobody, I can't claim who did it. I wasn't there when they did it, but there was damage to our fence while they were working out there, but nobody can take responsibility. So I had to repair that on my call out of pocket. So there's a concern about errant vehicles or just whatever may happen on Felix Street entering our yard. And also, before I put up my privacy fence, the road was kind of getting out of hand as far as running, and someone overcorrected. They were driving too fast, they overcorrected and corrected, and they almost hit me. Well, it looked like they were coming in my yard to hit me while I was cutting the grass. So I did contact the town, tell them they need to do something with the road because it's deteriorating, and they left the rest on it. He acted very quickly and was able to resurface that road, and I was able to build my privacy fence after that. So again, if we have vehicles that are parked at the end of the driveway because it's shorter, they could be hit. If that same drunk driver that was to happen, he would have hit the vehicle in the driveway. That's he would have hit. And luckily it was that night and nobody was in the vehicle in the house, but that's it.
Anyone have any questions?
No, I don't.
John?
No question.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve. I appreciate how well prepared you were and how well you articulated your reasons, and I tend to agree with those.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
You have a second.
All right, all in favor of approval? Opposed? We approve it. Thank you very much. All right, no miscellaneous. Is there anything else for us tonight?
No, this is just the last meeting of the year, and I know that starting next year, things are gonna be a little bit different. We'll have more members and
7 of us.
whatnot. There will be 7 instead of 5. I believe this is John's last meeting.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
So thank you. We do appreciate your time and what you put into that, and you being here as faithfully as you have over the last 3 years. So we do appreciate that. Beyond that,
Nobody else has anything?
I'll move to adjourn.
All right, there's a motion to adjourn at second.
You got a second?
All right, all in favor of adjourning, raise your hand. Y'all have a good Christmas. Thank you all for coming, both of you.